CC, the Yankees, are they actually better after losing Juan Soto?
Nuno?
Okay.
Smalls
job.
directed it to CC
Good job,
Nuno
Nuno.
as Yankee fans. Where did it go?
Sorry, I'm all in on the Yankees.
Good Monday morning to you and yours out there. We are on Sports Alike, meaning Chris Canty. I'm Freddie Coleman, in for Evan Cohen and Michelle Smallman, presented by Progressive Insurance on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, as well as ESPNU. Also brought to you by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today, 21 plus. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That is 1-800-GAMBLER. So the term 3 years means a lot now.
President Trump and U.S. negotiators are hopeful they can secure a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza, a deal that officials say would require Hamas to release at least 10 living hostages and the bodies of 18 dead hostages. It's believed 20 hostages in Gaza are still alive.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Israel's military launched airstrikes targeting ports and facilities held by Houthi rebels in Yemen. President Trump says letters go out today announcing tariff rates and or deals with America's trading partners. The Justice Department says there's no evidence Jeffrey Epstein was murdered or had a client list used to blackmail people.
The newly released memo obtained by Axios claims enhanced video released by intel agencies from Epstein's jail cell shows no one entered the cell area where he was being kept in Lower Manhattan the night he died back in August of 2019. The findings contradict theories long pushed by some who have accused the government of a potential cover-up to protect the powerful, including potentially government officials, celebrities, and business leaders.
That's Fox's Ted Linder. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
There's a wreath laying and a memorial service in London and a message from King Charles condemning senseless acts of evil 20 years ago.
7/7 is an infamous date in British history. On this day in 2005, 4 suicide bombers struck during London's morning rush hour. Explosions hit 3 London Underground trains and one of the city's iconic red double-decker buses. Apart from the bombers, 52 people of 18 different nationalities were killed. The attackers were Islamist extremists, but one thing that shocked Britain was that this terror was homegrown. 3 bombers born in England, 1 in Jamaica. 2 of them were still in their teens. A memorial to the victims stands in London's Hyde Park. In London, Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Tesla stock is down in pre-market trading after Elon Musk says he'll start a new America First political party.
He can have fun with it, but I think it's ridiculous.
President Trump's reaction before boarding Air Force One after a weekend stay in New Jersey. NASCAR on the streets of Chicago.
While NASCAR driver Shane Van Gisbergen is from New Zealand, he might want to think about a move over to the Windy City, especially after Sunday's Cup Series Chicago Street Race on TNT Sports.
Shane Van Gisbergen does own the streets of Chicago. He delivers once again.
While Michael McDowell led for the first 31 laps, a stuck throttle forced him to the garage, opening the door for Van Gisbergen. The race has been run just 3 times in NASCAR Cup Series history, and SVG has now won it twice. The first and the most recent. Even more impressive, it caps off a perfect full weekend sweep. Not only did he win both the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series races, but he also won the pole in both of them to qualify first. Greg Thompson, Fox News.
Jurassic World Rebirth pulls in $318 million in ticket sales worldwide, Universal Pictures says, in its first 5 days in theaters. I'm Chris Foster. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news
One driver arrested for a DUI on the 4th. It followed a crash involving multiple cars Friday in Savoy at the intersection of East Curtis Road and Paddock Drive. The incident involving at least 2 cars. The driver, one of the 2, arrested on DUI charges. Urbana Park District receiving reports of pets getting ticks in its parks. The Park District said on its website that staff members have put up additional signage warning about the ticks. Best way to prevent getting ticks is to stay on the pathways in the parks and not go off into the brush or other tall grasses. Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Illinois, and the State Department of Natural Resources teaming up to curb drunk driving on recreational vehicles this summer. The Boating and ATV Impaired Driving Prevention Campaign urged residents to stay sober while operating boats, jet skis, ATVs, and more. Alcohol is the number one known contributing factor in fatal boating accidents. And that's what's happening. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom.
Yeah.
I'm Jim Miller.
Was that a Clinton kind of buttoning up our brand new boat, 1997 Rinker?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's new to you boat.
Well, kind of, but it's an older boat. But anyway, she runs.
Hey, at least you got a boat.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful.
Yeah,
anyway, I heard
good for
the
you.
Feuding Hillbillies were out there.
Oh, nice.
I'd never heard them.
They're great.
They're really good.
Uh-huh.
Very enjoyable.
Brought them on stage a few times.
They've been around a while, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Decades?
I would say so,
Yeah.
but there's been some switching out of some members, but good stuff.
Yep. All right. Hey, good morning. We made it. I vote that July 4th is on Friday every year.
Yes.
That felt like a week off.
I just loved it.
I mean, that felt like a week away.
Now what am I going to do, Stevie?
Oh, summer's not over. Don't go down that path.
Okay.
I have suggestions for you, Diane, if you'd like me to tell you.
2 words, go Illini. Let's do this. Let's focus on selling some great ads during the Illini and supporting them and all that.
Well, the Cubs are going to probably win the division.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, the Chicago Cubs are a winner. Cardinals have blips. It's kind of what young teams do, blips of great and then really blips of bad. They've been shut out 6 times in the last 3 weeks. Shut out.
A discussion point on the ball game on TV last night is what direction are they going in? And with the approaching trade deadline, are they still rebuilding? A lot of that club is up for the binders. Do they add a couple of pieces? What's the game plan?
You talking Cubs or Cardinals?
Cardinals.
Oh, the Cardinals are sellers.
Okay.
They're totally sellers. They're gonna sell Ryan Helsley. They're probably gonna sell anybody else that they don't see as a long-term future. Ryan Helsley's the closer, and he's good. Yeah. But I don't think they're going to hold on to guys like that.
Maybe Wilson is actually looks pretty good as a first baseman these days.
Yeah, no, he's fine. Cardinals are sellers. There's no question. And they got to transition with a new general manager next year.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get to our weather, Solye, this instant flood down in Texas.
Oh, my. Oh, geez.
River rose 26 feet in 45 minutes.
Unbelievable.
Oh
yeah, it's in smaller scale. It's another example of a perfect storm as it applies to when flash flood watches are in effect, warnings are in effect. Pay heed to them. But there seems to be a missing element from getting that communication point out. It happened during the overnight hours. That's a problem. Evidently, cell coverage was a problem. But from a meteorological standpoint, you went from a historic drought the past several years. They are now overtly wet to about that point in central Texas, that Kerr County area. Then you start going downstream down into the upper parts of the Rio Grande River. It's rock hard solid because of this multi-year extreme to exceptional drought. And when it rains hard to begin with, it runs off. Now imagine trying to run that through hills and valleys and grounds that vary from too wet to too dry, just like concrete. And that's the perfect setup, unfortunately, that you come up with. And they're not out of the woods still with getting out of this perfect Gulf moisture little tropical system of, just enhancing stuff, daytime heating, 100-degree heats involved, 75, 80-degree dew points, just everything that you wanted to check off. Was checked off in that particular instance.
Well, they're hitting the meteorologist pretty good, but let me just.
Well, you know why? So I don't know a lot about how the National Weather Service works. They ultimately issue the watches, the warnings, and all that kind of stuff. They were on it. There's what they call a warning coordination meteorologist, and that position was vacated. That is a go between the National Weather Service and getting in touch with like civil defense and emergency managers and kind of the people that would be involved in that particular setup. So while the watches were out, the warnings were out, everything was out, but it happened at night, much like a tornado outbreak that occurs in the overnight nighttime hours here in the Midwest. Worst possible time. And then that missing communication piece was not into position either. So that's the way I understand it, and from a private meteorologist.
I had heard a meteorologist last night online saying, hey, there were normally 2 meteorologists on duty. There were 5. They saw this coming.
Yeah,
they were prepared. But when you're talking within an hour, middle of the night in a horrific storm, I mean, man, that's called a natural disaster. So that's called
a perfect storm, a smaller scale, and not to underestimate what's gone on with loss of life, but it was a perfect flash flood setup, and that happens semi-frequently. That is the part of the country where that kind of stuff, and in the Southwest, that does happen once in a while.
Well, Guadalupe River, and I saw some clips from 1987. It sounded like today, exactly.
I saw on socials Tom Brokaw talking about the same event that went down there. So.
Man, it's just horrific. 83, I think, is the count now.
Yeah.
Still 10 missing, I think. All right, let's check the weather. Meteorologist Greg Solier, brought to you by the Urbana Park District.
Hey, remind you, the pool is open, and it's so fun with all the amenities that come along with it. If you'd like to check out the lap swim, that's 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can find out all the details at urbanaparks.org.
All right, meteorologist Greg Solier on this Monday, July 7th, sir. What do you see?
Yeah, and still lots of summertime to go. Lots of summertime warmth and humidity, but nothing too extreme in the temperature department. No extreme outbreaks of weather on here. Each day, this roll the dice type stuff where you get a little something, others get missed out. You went down south and southwest of Champaign yesterday afternoon and evening towards Lake Shelbyville, Taylorville, that I-70 corridor to Charleston, and up north Edgar, Coles County. Yeah, you guys got a pretty decent amount of rain, 1.5 inches reported in some of those spots. So it's that setup that goes with us here for this week. Par for the course July weather, and again, pretty much manageable from a temperature and humidity standpoint. Out the door this morning, 69 at Willard and Savoy, 68 at Rantoul, up to about 82 today, so a bit cooler than yesterday's near 90-degree weather, and spotty sprinkle around this morning, a couple of fog patches, a partly sunny midday, sun-filled for the afternoon, clearing off tonight, 63, sun and 87 tomorrow, and back into rolling the dice on a shower thunderstorm chance here Wednesday. Better odds Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, highs middle 80s Wednesday, upper 80s Thursday and Friday, and we're in the 80s for daytime readings Saturday and Sunday. Each day, some degree, 30 to 50% odds, and coverages on the late night, early morning, late afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, thank you, Gregory. Appreciate it very much. 7:13. Well, brother Johnny's in town.
Hey, Stevie J.
Good to see you.
4th of July was a great weekend here in Central Illinois.
We're going to see more fireworks in Philo in 2 weeks.
I got a lot of feedback about how hot it was, but it seemed fine to me.
Yeah, New Orleans is hotter, more humid.
Well, it's really not much hotter, but I'm used to it. It's like that a lot more.
Yeah. It's not that dry heat. New Orleans is hot.
It's not
wet.
dry heat.
No. All right, so a week from Saturday night, is that right? No, Sunday night. A week from Sunday night, it's a Philo sesquicentennial.
Well, actually, it starts like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
The 17th through the 20th. And it's in the evening on Thursday, and the 20th is going to be quite a party. I know I'm doing the bingo at 2, but we're getting into 90s Daughter, and then the fireworks on a Sunday evening.
Now, we've been kind of going back and forth. We got some 150-year fireworks, Stevie, set up.
That'll be awesome.
We're going for broke.
Yeah.
We got the 250-year United States of America.
Yeah.
We're in that year now, officially kicked off.
That's true.
150, 250, we're going to go, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
How does it make us feel, Johnny, that we were deeply involved in the 100th celebration of Philo, the Philo Centennial?
It makes me feel right about 50 years old.
Me too. But you were the youth director in 1975.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And then 2000, we kind of did the 125. Now we're doing the 150th sesquicentennial for Philo. The News Gazette's going to cover this.
And in the 125th, we had 25 years ago.
Right.
And we had a lot of fun kind of looking through our time capsule, but it had gotten wet. So so this for this one, we put it in a place where it couldn't get wet and that no one can find. So that we don't know where that time
treasure hunt.
Wouldn't Hale Park make sense? Somewhere around Hale Park?
Well, we don't know, Steve. But we're still investigating where is that time capsule because we want to know what was going on.
All right, sports headlines. Diane Ducey, the Cubbies embarrassed the Cardinals on national television.
Well, on Saturday night, the Cardinals won, but it was 2-1 on the series.
The Cardinals have been shut out 6 times in the last 3 weeks, and last night was 11-0.
11-0.
Yeah,
well, here's more details.
Yeah,
the Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney. The Cardinals had a chance to win a series at Wrigley Field, but that chance went up in smoke as the Cubs scored in the first, 2 in the second, 5 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. A final of 11-0 over the Cardinals.
The best news yesterday was Brendan Donovan being selected to the All-Star team. Nothing else was good. Eric Fetty had a bad start against Chicago. He could not get through the second inning. And their All-Star, Boyd, pitched outstanding baseball for the Cubs. He picked up his 9th victory.
He's 9-3, 3-1 lifetime against the Cardinals. And once he got the lead, he just kept busting the fastball in on right-handed batters.
And the Cardinals got shut out again by a left-handed starter. That's happening a lot lately.
Cardinals finished 3-4 on the road trip. The 4 losses, all shutouts. Back home tomorrow night to play the Washington Nationals. Andre Palante will start for the Cardinals. 5:50 broadcast time. 6:35. Ricky has the lineups. I'll bring you the first pitch at 6:45.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
A battle of the Stinkos with Colorado's Rockies beating the Chicago White Sox yesterday, 6-4.
Yeah.
White Sox have Toronto Blue Jays with a 6:40 start. Cubs and Cardinals are both off. Cubs will have Minnesota at 6:40 tomorrow, and Washington is at Busch with a 6:45.
Washington is a new manager and general manager now, too.
Wow.
They had to fire both of them yesterday. So we'll see what that does to the Washington Nationals.
In the Gold Cup finals in soccer, Mexico over the United States men's soccer team 2-1. Also had American Amanda Anisoma as the Wimbledon quarterfinalist. And we also had the John Deere Classic with Brian Campbell.
Brian Campbell, U of I alum, wins the John Deere in overtime, in extra hole.
Year, too.
What's that?
It's his second win.
Yep.
Right.
I think he's had 2 in his life, and they're both in this year.
That's great. He's going to the Masters, too.
I don't think so.
What are you talking about? If you win, you get to go.
Not for the John Deere. You don't get that.
You can't. What about his other one that he won?
No. I don't know that one. I don't know.
I think that was Mexico.
But I don't think so. The normal PGA tournament, you actually don't get the Masters of the U.S. Open, nothing like that. But you do, because I just looked it up. They get 500 FedEx points and $1.5 million.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. But
That's
wow,
a nice
what do you have to
perk.
do to get in that thing?
It's
Come on.
But yeah, he did win the Mexican Open in a playoff. So
All right, let's check weather, brought to you by Busey, for over 155 years, member FDIC.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity. Pretty much par for the course. July weather continues on minus. Real oppressive heat nor humidity. Increasing rainfall prospects. Still very scope coverage and intensity-wise for the remainder of the week, but many a dry hour as well. Speaking of which, a little spotty shower can't be ruled out this morning. Some patchy fog early on, then a partly sunny midday giving way to sunshine. Plenty of it this afternoon. A bit cooler and less humid as the day wears on at 82. Light north to northwesterly winds. Tonight clearing this evening. Cooler, less humid on the overnight. Slight northeast to east wind 63. Sunshine and 87 tomorrow. A little more humidity. Lows near 70 with increasing clouds for tomorrow night. Late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, maybe a stray shower thunderstorm. Better odds Wednesday afternoon. Partly sunny and 86 in between. Up to 88, lingering shower thunderstorm chance on Thursday. Highs into the upper 80s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday each day. A couple of widely scattered showers and thunderstorms too. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
You've set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy.
Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
There are more developments on trade. Wednesday is the tariff deadline. President Trump says we're close to finalizing several trade agreements, though he says tariff letters and/or deals will be delivered starting today. The administration says tariffs will take effect August 1st. Though the president says countries aligning themselves with the BRICS group, led by Brazil, China, and Russia, will be charged an additional 10% tariff. The S&P and NASDAQ stand in record territory after closing at highs in Thursday's shortened session. Energy giant Shell is expected to report weaker earnings at the end of the month. After an update today, some of Shell's businesses are seeing disappointing results, and the company's facing higher expenses. Shell shares are down 3%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Poselda, invested in you.
It's Will Kane Country.
The two guys on Trigonometry say we can't even get leftists to come onto our podcast. I know that I have trouble booking leftists for debate because they don't want to debate. They don't want to converse. They want to enforce their viewpoint.
Watch it live at noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday at foxnews.com or on the Fox News YouTube channel. And don't miss the show. Listen and follow the podcast 5 days a week at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Hey, Cardinal fans, hydrate like a champ. Head to the ballpark Saturday, July 12th as the Cardinals take on the Braves. That day, 20,000 fans 16 and older score a City Connect tumbler courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Stay cool and sip in style all summer long with this 30-ounce stainless steel tumbler. Don't miss out on this fan-favorite giveaway. Grab your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Nolan Gorman, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
The Champaign County Fair really puts a spotlight on exhibitors in Kessler Hall. Don't forget to stop by the barns. Livestock exhibitors are so proud of their horses, swine, sheep, and cows. It's fascinating as you visit the barns. July 18th through the 26th. Vendors, entertainment, rides, events. The Champaign County royalty? Get more information at champaigncountyfair.cc.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the big, beautiful bill getting passed after we were done on Friday. And then that happened. And then he signed it on the 4th of July. That was Thursday then, the big, beautiful bill. And then he signed it during the celebration at the White House. And all the guys surrounding him. It was a big. Elon Musk was so happy with it, he started his own political party, if you missed that. The America Party, I think is what it's called. So, I mean, wow, Elon Musk and traveling, staying at the White House for 4 months with one of his kids, and then everything kind of changed.
You know what? I just can't unpack all of that, so I'm just going to watch. But, when they passed that bill, Steve, the two guys that spoke for just a few minutes, not like Hakeem Jeffries, who said nothing for 8.5 hours to just... It's like when I used to take the ball when our team was losing. But I was just a kid. So anyway, Mike Johnson and Scalise were giving talks. I'm like, yeah, those are my buddies.
Yeah, you know them both. You know them both.
Louisiana boys.
Well,
Johnson did a heck of a job.
Now, and so Thune. Get it through that Senate was a tug of war.
Well, that's what happened to the bill. And you look at, remember the $3.2 trillion bill, and Manchin held out and they got it to 1.7?
Yeah.
That was a bad bill, probably a lot worse than this one. This is the process we've got, and it's either that or nothing. But you heard a few things in there that none of us like, I don't think. But you've got this extension of the tax cuts, which was a big number.
Yep.
You know, we were going to have to go back to $1,000 deduction for each child, which is now $2,200 after the bill.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you go back to that. And then we do have some border money in there.
Yeah.
So people are kind of saying, maybe it's better to have a sealed border, even if they were open border kind of.
Air traffic control is in there. We need that help.
There's just a lot of good things in the bill, and there's
no tax on tips. I think that's a good deal.
And then too, with some of these economic kind of pluses that are in the bill, they're saying, it's going to cost us this, but we're not sure, because when Reagan cut taxes, we actually had a increase in revenue. So we'll see. It's definitely one of those, we'll see, but I think it's overall a great thing to do, and it would have been a disaster if that didn't get passed.
Oh boy.
And
no question.
Certainly if you're more on the Trump, let's see how he does side, it would have been his first real setback.
Yep. Well, it may be the best 2 weeks for a president of this century. I mean,
whatever. He's on a
amazing,
roll.
Yeah.
And
now I guess you wait and see, because he'll own it, but he also doesn't have to do another big one like that. Probably
everything he was talking about was in that bill.
Yeah.
And I can't believe they got that through.
I know.
And so,
all right, and as far as just to let everybody know, you probably already know, but I think politically satisfied, this is the best feeling I've had politically since Al Gore and George Bush stopped the election in 2000. It was over. Bush wins. But then 9/11, that whole thing after that. Then Barack Obama. Then Trump trying to get him out as quickly as he got in 17. And then Biden. So it's been like a turmoil for 25 years. And now I feel as comfortable as far as the direction, like I feel America's kind of grabbed back, but those with Trump derangement syndrome feel the exact opposite.
And I don't call it Trump. Well, there's Trump derangement syndrome, but the problem is the progressive left has taken over the Democratic Party, and they have commandeered this incredible mechanism the Democrats have to get out and deliver the vote. I think some of those votes are not valid, but generally speaking, they just have a great way to deliver the vote. But they made it too easy, and people they don't want in, like the now candidate for mayor in New York, have taken over.
Well, Johnny, what are they going to do? You can't have Mamdani as your next mayor. Here's a clip from Mamdani. Everything's out there. Anything he's ever stood for is out there.
Who refuse to acknowledge this genocide. When I get to 3, I want you to say ceasefire now. 1, 2, 3. Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire!
And then they get the free Palestine, So Benjamin Netanyahu's at the White House today talking about a ceasefire with Hamas, who's, quote, agreed to it.
Palestine!
That's the next mayor of New York.
Free Palestine!
Man,
I think that he's, like I say, the Democratic primaries, the progressives have a pretty good way to push their candidates through, which is why the moderate Democrats shut up, because they'll take them out. And so that's a problem for the Democrats. But I don't think Mamdani's going to be mayor of New York.
Well, and then he got, as you said, 400,000 is not very many in 8 million is in New York City, and he had 400,000 win the primary. Of course, when they voted the last time, out of 8 million in New York City, only 1 million voted.
Well, okay, so this is one time, and I know that just like any other, ethnic group, Jewish people are all over the board, but a lot are Democrats. This time, Steve, some of the 2 million Jews are going to come out and vote against this guy.
Okay.
I mean, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
But I'm going to predict there's no way he'll win a general.
Okay. By the way, Brian Campbell, former Illini, winning the John Deere Classic. With that, he gets 500 FedEx Cup points. He becomes now 28th in the FedEx Cup. That's cool. He gets a 2-year full PGA exemption. That's huge. You don't have to qualify for anything for 2 years. Winner's purse is $1.5 million. He does not automatically get exemptions in the majors. Players, that's reserved for winners of specific events. But 2-year exemption PGA, he has a job for 2 years, which in golf I think is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they've now, I guess they may have all had certain tournaments only qualify you for something. But if you win one of those tournaments, I think you should be in
the Masters.
Come on, that's not that easy.
No, it's not that. Into a playoff as well. We got Amanda Balionis talking to Brian Campbell, U of I graduate, Mike Small's guy. More and more of these guys are making money on the PGA Tour. Nick Hardy was in it. I don't think he made the cut. Anyway, if you want to get on the Fisher National Bank text line, anything we say along the way, 217-359-2255, 217-359-2255. A break for the news, and we'll be right back. I'll play that Brian Campbell interview, too, as well. It's next.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says more than 40 people are still unaccounted for. 68 bodies found in Kerr County. Flash floods devouring everything, including a summer camp for girls. Camp Mystic saying in a statement some 27 campers and counselors were killed.
Some of these young girls, as young as 7 years old, they were fast asleep in their cabins right near the river when this happened, and these devastating flash floods just swept through. The Guadalupe River surged 26 feet in just 45 minutes, so under an hour, this all happened, according to officials.
Fox's Brooke Taylor, senior meteorologist from Fox Janestein.
Where these campers were that went missing, it was a low-lying area.
President Trump expected to visit the area Friday. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Urbana Park District's getting reports of pets getting ticks in its parks. District said that staff members have put up additional signage warning about ticks. Best way to prevent ticks is to stay on the pathways in the parks and not go off into the brush or other tall grasses. $20 million going to be parceled out to libraries across the state to improve library services. Grant funding will help ensure access to resources and programming for all Illinoisans. Money will be given through 3 different grants aimed at helping libraries pay for construction, technology improvements, and per capita costs. Well, a rare American flag is now on display in Springfield. The 21-star flag hanging in the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Museum. Illinois became the 21st state in the Union in 1818. And on July 4th, 1819, the 21-star flag became official. The flag was only official for a short time, as the next year, 2 more stars added when Alabama and Maine joined the United States. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, we check your weather with our meteorologist Greg Solier, brought to you this morning by Carl.
Carl reminds you they're always looking for great people. If you're interested in a position in healthcare, you can consider visiting carl.org/careers.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana vicinity, pretty much par for the course. July weather continues on minus. Real oppressive heat nor humidity. Increasing rainfall prospects. Still very scope coverage and intensity-wise for the remainder of the week, but many a dry hour as well. Speaking of which, a little spotty shower can't be ruled out this morning. Some patchy fog early on, then a partly sunny midday giving way to sunshine. Plenty of it this afternoon. A bit cooler and less humid as the day wears on at 82. Light north to northwesterly winds tonight, clearing this evening. Cooler, less humid on the overnight. Slight northeast to east wind 63. Sunshine and 87 tomorrow. A little more humidity, lows near 70 with increasing clouds for tomorrow night. Late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, maybe a stray shower thunderstorm. Better odds Wednesday afternoon, partly sunny and 86 in between. Up to 88. Lingering shower thunderstorm chance on Thursday. Highs into the upper 80s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday each day. A couple of widely scattered showers and thunderstorms too. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
I got a woman here who thinks that obviously everybody's for dismantling the United States. I don't think these voices are unique. It's just that now they get a microphone and some power if they get into office. And it's just.
I got to tell you, locally on the 4th of July parade, I was able to be on a float and play a lot of patriotic music. And there was a corner of people that were kings, no kings, and all that. So it was just turning up my sound system and essentially, saying, God bless America, God bless us, no matter how you vote, that we have a chance to vote, that we have a chance to express our opinion.
So we had some of that going on?
And there was
but there were some people that were anti-American involved?
They weren't afloat. They were, projecting their negativity
so
towards
they got
my float.
Together, and you were patriotic. How dare you?
And I just turned up the John Philip Sousa, it's a grand old flag, even louder to drown them out.
You would think that there'd be a day of appreciation kind of thing.
Well, how many people, though?
Probably 10.
That's about right.
All right, 10.
Yeah,
well, that's
10.
how many didn't like the chief, too, about 11.
Yeah.
Charlene Teeters and her group back in, that's kind of when woke started
The vocal
here.
minority.
That get way more attention than they should. Here's a woman that's casually talking about dismantling. You tell me what you're thinking. You're going, what are you talking about?
Of all liberation struggles and the movements that seek a world of justice, equality, and peace, that seek to dismantle the United States. I hope you seek to dismantle the United States.
Just laugh.
And if that isn't your politics, okay? I speak as if everybody has this commitment. And the thing is that you should listen to Indigenous people when they're telling you that this is the goal. And that not only is this the goal, but this is the starting point. Because I think Nick articulated this very clearly. Decolonization is the only thing that is going to save us.
Okay, so what? Remember when Mike Ditka said, Barack Obama's for change. Change from what to what?
I don't know what she's talking about.
I don't either.
I mean, it's, but yeah. So, and the difference, we've had this for my entire lifetime and go on way back. I mean, throughout human history, there's always someone, you say you want a revolution, we all want to change the world.
Yeah, right.
But they've kind of taken over the Democratic Party. That's the difference.
Andy Bashar, who's a pretty moderate Kentucky governor, is thinking about running in 28. He's going to get smooshed. I mean, you can't beat the primary people in a.
We'll see what happens because this whole really left movement's dependent on the dwindling mainstream media, who really don't want to dwindle away, and they may start moving a little further away from the left because it's not selling. I mean, they say, okay, no king. What they're really saying is, we want to have our king, and you're going to listen to our king, or we're going to cancel you. They won't go out and tell you that, but we saw them doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, is the presidency too powerful? Yes. It's because the Congress quit doing anything. You see, the only way they can get something done, we saw, and it's amazing they got that done. And it's, of course, by the time it's over, nobody's really that thrilled with what's in that big, beautiful bill. But that's how the system works. Our border, even the Democrats are arguing how bad the border is now. The progressives told us a story about it that wasn't true. But they won't do anything, Steve. Mm-hmm. They won't go address the problem. The Democrats, for example, Diane, they could have gone to Trump about, say, 20 moderates and said, we want a way for these dreamers, these kids that were in this country, now they've been here 15, 20 years, and you want to deport them? They didn't have anything to do with it. Their parents brought them in. We want a way to citizenship. Trump's even said we have to look at that for some of these folks that have been here a while. Mm-hmm. Nothing. They don't care about those people because they can't say anything or they'll get thrown out by the left. And they could have taken some credit for the good things that are going to happen. Now they're completely dedicated to all this is going to be bad, lower taxes and whatever else is in the bill.
What will happen if Mamdani wins in New York? What changes?
I don't know. I don't think they'll get the government funding they've been getting if he does some of the things he's saying he's doing. But does
that take the Democratic Party that way?
No, that probably pushes it the other way because they're going to say, look what can happen if we keep this up.
But what would happen to the AOCs and Jasmine Crockett's and the Bernie Sanders and the people that are...
Well, I don't think you're going to do much about them other than they'll have less influence on the results. I mean, that's where the Democrats have to get rid of the progressives.
I don't know. I mean, I think the progressives have to, what's James Carville said, let them go their way, we'll go ours, and we'll coalesce later.
That's called getting rid of them.
Yeah, well, but they got to kind of probably caucus with them, right, as far as voting and stuff, don't they? I mean, they can battle it out and then get a Harold Ford Jr. on the Democratic ticket, but the left won't go for Harold Ford Jr.
They don't compromise. That's their kind of their.
Well, then should they have their own party? Should we have 4 parties? America Party with Elon Musk, the Progressive Party.
I'm okay with it if we have a rule where whoever's the winner of these executive positions has to get 51%. I said Mamdani won't win, but if they have too many people running in that race and they don't have to get 51%, he can win with 35. Like I said, Adolf Hitler took over Germany with 33% of the vote because he had more than anyone else. And then he started getting 100% once he got it completely taken over.
Yeah.
But so you don't want to have a system that doesn't need a majority. I think that's a big mistake. The presidency, there hasn't been a 50%. Even Trump this last time, I don't think quite made 50%. And so...
I thought 52 maybe on this last one. I don't know.
I'll have to check
Bill
this
Clinton
one.
never got 50. Bill Clinton won for the first time with 43 with Ross Perot.
I think Obama might have gotten 50-something. But in any case, the presidency doesn't need 50, which I think it should have 50.
All right, 741, Brian Campbell, U of I golfer, wins the John Deere.
And he's with Amanda Balionis.
Brian, 10 years ago to the day you made your professional PGA Tour debut right here at the John Deere Classic. Explain this full circle moment and how meaningful it is.
Right now it's surreal. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it all started here as an amateur, my first invite here, and I've loved it ever since. And I have no words. I mean, to be, let alone in a playoff, and to finish it off this way, it's just been amazing. So
let's talk about this playoff. We were all wondering why you weren't going out to hit some balls before the playoff. Clearly the mindset paid off. So take us into the decision making as you sat for 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's grueling out here. We're sweating, it's just hot, and I think we really needed to take a break, get some water, rather than go out and beat balls and putt for, who knows how many minutes. So it was really just a team effort to let's get some rest and get mentally ready.
So well played on that first playoff hole. You know how hard it is to win out here, but you also know how hard it is to stay out here. It took you 7 years to get back to the PGA Tour after losing it after your rookie year. What's the advice you would give your younger self as you grinded it out as now a multiple-time winner out here?
Oh, man. The advice I would give is just you really got to dig deep and trust yourself. It's easier said than done, but what worked for me a lot was trusting a lot of things I used to do when I was a kid, getting back to enjoying the game, loving the game for what it is, and just having fun with it.
Well, have fun with this one. Congratulations.
Brian Campbell, U of I alum, Mike Small's guy, wins on the John Deere and the PGA. Pretty darn impressive to win a PGA golf tournament. Now that's 2 this year. So maybe a little breakthrough. He's 28th in the FedEx Cup standing. He has his card for 2 years after a win at John Deere. So it is pretty cool. I wonder how much money has been made by Mike Small golfers in the world.
Ooh,
it's a lot.
That's a good question.
It's tens of millions for sure. Win a tournament.
Well, that's really good golf.
Yep. It used to be Steve Stricker was the John Deere Classic guy.
Yeah, he's won that over a number of times, right? Yeah.
Hey, Steve, I actually said something that was a little misleading. Our president doesn't need 50% of the popular vote, but they do need 50% of the electoral vote.
Yes.
The electoral vote protects us from what New York might have, which is he does not have to have 50% of the vote to win
270 electoral college votes for sure.
And that basically is 50% of all the electoral votes, which are designed based on the populations of each district.
Well, that's another reason I think that, you're saying, why would you have an open border? Well, if you count them in the census, you won't lose seats. But as many people that are leaving Illinois and New Jersey and California, you'll lose seats.
Right.
Illinois lost a seat, probably should lose more. California should lose 6.
Well, they do count them in the people who aren't citizens in the census, which does go towards your
But they shouldn't be able to vote.
I don't even know if they should be counted as vote basis
I agree,
for the vote.
I agree. Yeah.
And they aren't allowed to vote, but they vote because they just don't. It's just like the border. We have immigration that would not have allowed what's going on, but they just say, well, no, we're saying all asylum. They're all running for their lives. And, so what are you going to say?
Yeah.
Well,
in an online search, it says currently 270 out of the total 538 electoral votes.
That's required. 270, 268 is a number that could happen. I mean, it could be that close.
So 270 times 2 is 540.
Yep.
And there's 538. So, yeah, you got to have over 50%.
That's right.
Actually, if it's 50-50, can be 50-50. And then it's got, I forgot how we do that, 50-50.
It goes to the House of Representatives.
Yes.
House of Representatives decides that if you controlled it, then you got it.
Right.
Wow, you guys paid attention in civics and social studies.
I'll tell you, if that happened, it goes to the House, it wouldn't be a slam dunk no matter who.
No.
If the Democrats had the majorities over.
Yeah.
But the Republicans, they'd be arguing all the way down to the bitter end.
I mean, it was, everybody said, well, they're going to fall in line. It was not easy. And they got that big, beautiful bill passed. Barely.
Well, Murkowski got an extra $25 billion thrown in.
Yeah,
against
Lisa
those
Murkowski.
the Medicaid cuts because she said affected Alaska, which it did.
But Johnny, here's a Medicaid cut. They don't go up as much as they thought. That's a cut. So if they're scheduled to go 10% more, it's 5% more, and it's a cut. That's how they term cut in Washington.
That's how they do.
That's how they do it.
Sometimes they cut, but sometimes they just cut the
gain.
Yeah.
And so it's just dizzying how complex our system is and how close it is, closely divided. And if you're telling me that Mamdani is going to be the New York City mayor and the Democrats are going to win the midterms, I just have a hard time believing that. So,
I don't know about the That's got nothing to do with the Democrats.
I think
Mamdani winning that nomination hurt the Democrats.
I think, though, but won't it hurt him more if he is actually in office with his philosophies?
Yes, because people are going to say, wow, these people are dangerous. We are headed down the wrong track.
Right.
Because I don't think he has a lot of people who want to take over production. In other words, his philosophy in government is the government will produce the food and the tractors and manufacture everything.
Why isn't that communism?
It is communism.
Well, then he's not a socialist.
That's why
he's a communist.
If the Russians would have had their version of Walmart, if you would have gone in there in the 80s, there wasn't anything on the shelves because you got money whether you worked or not, and it wasn't enough because you can't spread it around, so nobody did anything. Guess what? There wasn't anything to eat.
Yep. Man, I don't know. Do you think, what do they say? Those who don't learn from history are destined to repeat it?
Yeah, and it's always that same goal of this perfect world, which is probably not.
But who's perfect and who's calling the shots? It's still somebody.
It's still somebody. That's your king right there.
Right.
They just jump from the frying pan into the fire.
Here the people rule, Johnny. Here the people rule. Maybe.
Well, we do America. Better than anywhere else, I think.
Well, I think so too. Yeah. All right. Sports headlines.
We had the Cubs over the Cardinals yesterday, 11-0. The Cubs get that series 2-1. Cubs will face Minnesota in Minnesota 6:40 tomorrow, and tomorrow is when the St. Louis Cardinals will host Washington with a 6:45 start here on ESPN 93.5. Colorado over the Chicago White Sox yesterday, 6-4. They've got the Toronto Blue Jays with the 6:40 start. In the Gold Cup Finals, Mexico beat the United States men's soccer team 2-1. We also talked about Brian Campbell winning the John Deere Classic. And that's pretty much it. I mean, Wimbledon is going on, but it's not in that final stretch.
Yeah. All right. And we got football coming up, Johnny, in 24. 53 days, something like that. It's 29th August, and then there's 21 more days here. No, 24 more days here. 45 days.
Well, there you have it. It's coming right up, and Illinois will win their first game, Steve.
August 29th.
All right.
6:30 start.
It's a Friday night, so we do lose that big long tailgate on Saturday, but
see, May, June, July, August,
so
July, August.
654
Next month.
Isn't that crazy?
But wait, in 2 weeks we have the final celebration.
That's right.
So that's really what's coming up.
Centennial.
That's right, 150 years.
Yeah.
And when I was on stage in the tailgating area, Lot 31, of course, I was thanking the University of Illinois. I thought everything went really well, and mentioned Western Illinois coming up on August 29th. So this is on the horizon.
How was our friend that we met last week, the singer?
Yeah, Krista McCullough.
No, the band.
Oh, Nathan Applegate.
How was he?
He was good.
Nathan Applegate was on the show last week. He sang for 3 hours before Krista McCullough sang the national anthem.
From the Ozarks area, a rising star in Nashville.
Okay, good.
So,
no, great.
A lot of fun. More
homespun,
and he was doing some, I don't know, kind of like a little jig during Rocky Top. And
did he let his brothers breathe? His arms was sleeveless?
That's right.
Yeah,
he was sleeveless.
Big muscle.
He
guy.
did.
All right.
I said, forget how you started singing. When did you start lifting weights?
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a great weekend. Johnny, before you got in here, I said I vote for July 4th on Friday. I think you were here. I totally loved the 3-day weekend.
No, it's
just nice.
It was really nice too, and actually it was pretty chill. And it's very hot, but very low key, easy. You had a nice, relaxing weekend. It really was. I went to the Homer fireworks, great. Tuscola fireworks, great. Those are the only two I made to go see, but the final fireworks can be big.
Oof.
That's
Awesome.
still coming up.
That's right.
Coming up if
On
you want to see some.
July 20th.
Is that the ballpark where we doing that?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's down
Fireman's
the ballpark.
Field.
Okay, well you get about anywhere. I could be here and have pretty good view. So
I think so.
A lot of good seats available for that. I don't know where you're parking.
And with 90's daughter ahead of that,
Wow,
that's going to be
90's daughter's
funny,
good too.
Fun time.
Yeah.
Well, we were in the Iron Horse parking lot watching the Tuscola.
How was the traffic either way? Good.
There it was fine. That's why it was full, but there's not that many. It wasn't at the park where the fireworks were.
But you saw it all.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So I'm thinking, man, when we do this in Philo, now I might, when Rod Swihart and I were working this issue, and so I might stand a little toward the back, because these guys are ready to roll. This is going to be a big
these pyrotechnicians. Got it.
And they've got a good show, and it's in that Tuscola category, so it's then they do a really great job.
Well, I can't remember around my house as much fireworks, but then it kind of shut off. Normally it goes for a week, but maybe people are out of town or something. But boy, that 4th of July, we had it going on to 11 or 12 at night. Close by. Pop, 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 pop.
Well, for some people, you know what? They have dogs that can't stand it.
Yeah, we're in that category, so we have to endure it. A little Lovey has to go into a corner and just shakes.
Yeah, they hear though. They really.
Yeah.
There are some dogs that really, it's very disturbing.
It was. We were in Vietnam once, and we went through trying to do some history. And we went in a jungle. It was a kind of a jungle, and they showed you the holes where the Vietnamese soldiers would go through. And we went through one of those. I could barely fit. Really fit.
Well,
they were so small.
Really surprised me.
Well, then you heard all this gunshots. Yeah,
he's a good shape.
You hear the gunshots because you could go shoot the 1960s and 70s rifles. If you had PTSD, you'd be back in Vietnam.
Yeah.
It was the jungles. You heard the gunshots. And that was unbelievable. And then they had stinking blown up American tanks people taking pictures with. I didn't really like that at all. I wanted to I said I would never come back to this. I wanted to learn something. So we took the kids and tried to learn something about history. And it was like, dang, that's my tank.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you hear the pops and people can go back and have bad memories on those kinds of things for sure.
Well, by the way, back to the dogs, I just had an invention idea. Soundproof, the little dog things the dogs go in.
Like a dog house?
Like a crate.
Dog house.
The crate to crate them at night.
Where they keep it, they have a cage for their dog.
Yeah, right. Crate.
Yeah, put it soundproof. A lot of sales for soundproof fireworks dog
little kennel.
Yeah. Dr. Todd gives us a little bit of Trexamine or whatever it's called, and you squirt a little of that, and they mellow out. So we do.
I see.
You can
Well,
do-
they'll drug the dog, put him in your soundproof canal.
Well,
you go.
and to me, you just put on the classic rock radio station, and you have some
Boom,
booming
boom.
sound.
That's the second time you say turn up the volume, which is what I used to do with my old car. If I heard a bad noise,
Right.
just turned up the
Yeah,
radio.
right. Don't hear the clink clink of the engine.
All of a sudden,
just turn
it's
it up. It's fixed. All right, weather brought to you by Kramer Siding and Window.
Your premier provider for home improvements, and boy, do they have some deals going on this summer. If you're thinking, I just hosted a party and I'd like to take it up a notch with a new pergola or some patio sunroom, you can learn more at kramersiding.com.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign, Urbana, vicinity. Pretty much par for the course. July weather continues on, but with no real extreme heat nor humidity. Both will be elevated from time to time, along with increasing rainfall prospects as the rest of the week wears on, but it'll be roll the dice from time to time. Some days better than others, with picking up rainfall coverages and amounts. Speaking of which, a stray shower could be around in spots this morning. Some patchy fog as well, then a partly sunny midday and a mostly sunny later afternoon. A bit cooler, less humid as the day wears on at 82. Clearing off this evening, cooler and less humid on the overnight. Light northeast to east wind at 63. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. Winds will turn back light south for the afternoon at 87. We'll notice a couple of isolated and widely scattered showers and thunderstorms late tomorrow night. More so for Wednesday, 70 tomorrow night, and a partly sunny Wednesday in between the scattered showers and thunderstorms, a high around 86. Lingering threat for a shower thunderstorm Thursday at 88. Better odds for Friday into Saturday. Highs there will be into the upper 80s, and a lingering shower chance Sunday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm your host, Greg Solgay.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window, a proud member of Prairie Home Alliance. A new front door can instantly upgrade the look of your home and make it more energy efficient. The Kramer Siding and Window team can also install French doors to your deck or patio, welcoming the outside in, or storm doors for an extra layer of protection against the elements. The estimate is free, financing is available, and the business is local. Schedule your beautiful new door today and save 25%. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
Okay, we are here in Champaign-Urbana. That we're on a little hiatus on our shows in the afternoon. Derek Piper said goodbye last week, and Curtis Allen, who was with us briefly, also said goodbye last week. And so he got an opportunity. So we are always for the worker. I have been anyway. So if somebody has a better chance to do something better, make more money, all those things, I'm always for them. I mean, we try and keep people when we can. And right now, Lonte wants to keep going, so that's good news.
All right.
Jay Lehman will be back in the fall for his football hour when he gets jacked up. And it's always a pleasure with Jay Lehman on Mondays at 3, replayed in the 5 o'clock hour. So we will kind of reorganize and get our people in place in about, I guess, a month. We'll be back for the drive. We've always talked about the drive in the summer times because there's just not a ton to talk about. And, you know, ESPN, I think, struggles the national because they got to talk about the NBA. They're not talking baseball much anymore because they don't have baseball on their air anymore. They're mostly football and basketball. So the NBA, you get a ton of, New Orleans Pelicans and LeBron James and Anthony Davis and
Hey, wasn't Jay on that last Rose Bowl team for Illinois?
Jay Lehman was.
Yes. And he must have played in the Juice Williams Ohio State
He was there.
game.
There's an iconic picture of Jay and his hair, which was everywhere. And he also weighed about 250. He's lost a lot of weight since his playing days, but he's on the shoulders of his buddy. And that was when Ohio State was number 1 undefeated, headed toward the national championship. Illinois went in there. It was a 4th down around midfield in the 4th quarter, and Juice came over to Ron Zook and said, "I'll make it." Just like Jimmy Chitwood from Hoosiers, he said, "I'll make it," and Ron Zook said, "You better." And he let him go for 4th and a foot at midfield, and he snuck it up to first down.
That was a Saturday afternoon, and it was a big game.
Oh, big
and
game.
I can tell you, every single conference in the country had at least one team that had a shot at national championship if we win that game.
Yeah.
And Ohio State was the number. It was who are we going to crush for the national championship? And sure enough, that opened the door. And do you know who won it that year? LSU.
Did they?
So we won that. from
Nick
them.
Saban?
I can't. It might have been Nick Saban. That was. I don't know what year. I'll have to go back, but it's all mixed up. But
2007 or 8 or something.
I don't know how it all shook out, but it changed everything.
Yeah.
And that was Jay Lehman. There you go.
Jay Lehman.
He talks about football. He knows what he's talking about.
He does, and he's a blast. So he'll be on coming up football season, which will starting in late August. We're going to go to Pia's a few times, broadcast live. So we're going to have
By the way,
stuff.
Pia's has their 50th anniversary, and that's coming up on July 19th.
Wow.
So that'll be a fun. There's people talking about the 50 years of bartenders, Johnny, and this will be awesome to see some of the bartenders coming back and slinging some drinks.
And that's
back from 1975.
2 weeks from this week.
On the 19th.
All right.
I can tell you, Steve, we did the Michigan game, and they had the 100 year for Red Grange, and I got to go on the field with my years of football.
70s. Yeah.
And I can tell you, if you see someone you haven't seen for 50 years and don't recognize them, don't feel bad, because they're not looking the same.
Yeah.
It's true.
No, that's right. It's just kind of the age thing kind of happens. And so, okay, we'll pause for the news. We'll come back, another hour to go. ESPN 93.5. It is Monday morning, July 7. Hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. It just felt like a nice long weekend. We kind of like that. Maybe we're going to go by way of France and start working 4 days a week.
Maybe.
Well, actually, some of the bus drivers, they've got 4-hour shifts. That's their full-time job, 16-hour weeks. And actually, if you drive the double-decker,
talking municipal buses,
yes,
school buses
through Paris.
Okay,
I can almost see it.
Wow.
I mean, they're missing both sides by
No.
3/4 of an inch.
And everybody has a smart car over there, right? So there's
but then they got these giant buses.
Oh man, no,
and,
that should be that's like air traffic control.
Yeah,
that'd be awful.
Yeah,
try and drive a bus in Paris or anywhere in Europe. All right, the news is next. That's Diane Ducey. Here's Brother Johnny. I'm Stevie J. The news coming up now. It's 8:00 in Champaign-Urbana. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Unimaginable tragedy. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. Camp Mystic in Hunt, Texas says in a statement it's grieving the loss of 27 campers and counselors in Friday's flash flooding. The co-owner of the 99-year-old girls' Christian summer camp is dead. Camp counselor Catherine Somerville on Fox.
Dickie Slind was one of the most selfless men in the whole world. He was a inspiration to so many. He was a father figure, a comforting force in the uncertainty of everything.
And at least 82 deaths are confirmed now in Texas as search and rescue operations continue, and there's more rain and flooding in the forecast today. President Trump says letters announcing trading partners' tariff rates start going out today at noon Eastern, and he's threatening an extra import tax on members of the BRICS trade alliance, including Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The president meets this evening with Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu.
The president says a deal with Gaza is close and there's a good chance that it happens this week. He previously told reporters that he was very firm with Netanyahu about the need to end the war, and he added that Netanyahu wants that too. And the hope is this deal, if it comes through, will involve a 60-day ceasefire where Hamas releases 10 living and 18 deceased hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Israeli forces would withdraw to a buffer zone, and UN agencies and Palestinian Red Crescent would deliver aid.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich. An Australian woman, Erin Patterson, is convicted of murdering her estranged husband's parents and aunt with poisonous mushrooms in a lunch she served in 2023.
She argued it was an accident and lied out of panic, insisting she loved her in-laws and had no reason to kill them. Patterson will have 28 days to appeal against her conviction.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. A Justice Department report says there is no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein had a client list used to blackmail powerful people, and confirms he killed himself in his cell in 2019 while awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
3 people are dead, 10 hurt in a mass shooting just before 1 a.m. in Philadelphia. Dozens of shots fired from several weapons, police say, as a group of people were gathered outside.
So many people shot at once. Everybody using every vehicle at their disposal to get people here to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center. Every indication we have is that this was a young person conflict. You have girlfriends, mothers, aunts, and sisters, a lot of women, many of them in tears out here in the sidewalk, a lot of them being escorted in and out of the building.
Hank Flynn with Fox 29 Philadelphia. At least one person with a weapon is in custody. Demolition is scheduled to start on the last pieces of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge.
It's been more than a year since the collapse of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, and this week, weather permitting, the Maryland Transportation Authority says demolition on the bridge's remaining structures will begin. Officials say the work is expected to take several months to complete and will involve the use of heavy machinery, explaining controlled detonations will not be used during this phase. 6 construction workers were killed when a cargo ship collided with the bridge in March of last year. A new bridge, which is expected to be finished in 2028, will become Maryland's first to be suspended by cables. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
There's a shakeup in the dugout and the front office for a last-place baseball team.
Shortly after losing to the Boston Red Sox on Sunday, the Washington Nationals announcing that both manager Dave Martinez and general manager Mike Rizzo had been fired. While that pair helped lead Washington to the 2019 World Series title, the team hasn't had a single winning season since and has finished in last place in the division 4 of the 5 years, not including this season when they're also currently in last place. In a statement, owner Mark Lerner said, quote, "A fresh approach and new energy is the best course of action for our team moving forward." Mike DiBartolo has been named interim general manager, while the interim manager will be announced on Monday. Greg Thompson, Fox News.
Ahead of this morning's opening bell on Wall Street, Dow futures are down 48 points. I'm Chris Foster. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Illinois, and the State Department of Natural Resources teaming up to curb drunk driving on recreational vehicles this summer. The Boating and ATV Impaired Driving Prevention Campaign urged residents to stay sober while operating boats, jet skis, ATVs, and more. Alcohol is the number one known contributing factor in fatal boating accidents. One driver arrested for a DUI on the 4th. It followed a crash involving multiple cars Friday in Savoy at the intersection of East Curtis Road and Paddock Drive. The incident involving at least 2 cars. The driver, one of the 2, arrested on DUI charges. Urbana Park District receiving reports of pets getting ticks in its parks. The Park District said on its website that staff members have put up additional signage warning about the ticks. Best way to prevent getting ticks is to stay on the pathways in the parks and not go off into the brush or other tall grass. And that's what's happening. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Yeah, you go off the beaten path. I know up at Prairie View. Is that Prairie View? What's the one on Windsor near Philo Road? Meadowbrook?
Meadowbrook?
Yeah. You go on that path, you better check your dog.
Okay.
Better check your legs. I mean, there's a lot of ticks. Friends of ours went on that and they pulled out, I don't know how many.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. So just be careful anywhere. Just be careful this time of year for that.
That's right.
Meteorologist Greg Solye, I got some pretty good rain at my house. It had poured earlier. I didn't get a drop, and then I got that thing last night at 6 or whatever it was. How much? Kind of, because it's so isolated in spots. What was kind of the consensus as how much fell around here?
Well, if you were to go just outside of Lake Shelbyville, for example, maybe a little bit south, so then this is kind of the south end of what came through, and that was the meat and potatoes kind of lined up Lake Shelbyville, Effingham, I-70, over towards Paris, kind of that area, easily at inch and a half, some spots close to 2. When you get farther north, for example, up around the Philo area and over towards Willett and Savoy, about a third to a little less than a half an inch that came on by there. And you went to the north outside of a little hiccup here and there, virtually nothing to speak of, but that's the way July rains work around here from time to time.
So a little more active this week maybe, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Nothing terribly, widespread on each and every day. It's just nickel and dime stuff, but I think ultimately as the week wears on, a half to 3/4, maybe close to an inch of rain. It may take 5 to 7 days to accomplish that, but as long as temperatures don't get out of control, and they're not, humidity will come back into play around here, a little stickier feel middle and late parts of the week. It's pretty easy going. I tell you what, this crop here, especially in our part of the Corn Belt and many eastern areas, are looking pretty good, I would think.
Well, they look waxy. They look tall. They look pretty like the crop. Looks like going to be good yield this year is what I would guess. So.
Yeah, I think still we have some issues with dryness and drought, but we got to get the Atlantic hurricane basin thing going. We had Chantal that came ashore in the Carolinas, and that's the way these things are going to happen in the short term, just quick and weak, and in the coastal areas of the southeast or eastern states. But until the Atlantic gets really ramped up and we build that high pressure over the plains into the western Corn Belt where they have a better likelihood, and there's still some drought issues there, I think that's the issue here. I think we're going to get through in good shape here. It may end up being too wet for a time and maybe get in the way of harvest down the line in the Ohio Valley and far eastern Corn Belt, and that's the range of crop conditions we're expecting this year. So.
Well, Watts Copy Systems, they offer cost-efficient solutions for busy offices. If you'd like a free evaluation, you can call Watts Copy Systems, locally owned, 217-352-0428. And Greg's Weather brought to you by Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, Kurt Lenschow and State Farm are there. All right, sir, what say you for the week?
Well, the week is, roll the dice, chances at rain, best opportunities and coverages would be at some point around here Wednesday and maybe pre-dawn hours of Thursday, another better opportunity, and it's probably just 50 or 60% coverage between late Thursday night into Friday and then into Saturday, and each day lots of dry hours. The coverages tend to be scattered, maybe fair each day. No widespread severe, but a gusty thunderstorm or two can't be ruled out like we had here yesterday to our south and southwest. Other than that, the beat goes on here through mid-July. Pretty easy to take temperatures. Nothing out of control there. Same with humidity values. 70 at Willard and Savoy now. 67 at Rantoul. 68 Danville. 67 at Bloomington Normal. Humidity will come down over the next 24 to 36 hours with a partly sunny sky. A couple of showers are south of I-70 right now. 82 the forecast high. That's actually a couple of 3 or 4 below average around here with light northwest to north wind. Far better sleeping weather tonight. Clearing this evening and cooler. Less humid 63. Sunshine 87 tomorrow. Light towards 86, and there's a 50-50 crack at rainfall on Wednesday, back down to 40% Thursday at 88, back up to 50% Friday into Saturday. Weekend highs close to 90 Friday, upper 80s Saturday, then mid to upper 80s for Sunday and Monday. For TVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that horrific flood, the flooding of the Camp Mystic. 700 or 800 were there in the, in that region. I think the camp had 700 or 800. I'm not sure the camp number, but overall death is over 80, with still some folks missing, and lots of accounts of water rushing into these cabins. It's hill country in southern Texas, just north of San Antonio, I guess. And so, not everybody has a cell service kind of thing. So it's you got that going. You have
27 campers and counselors have died in these weekend floods. As the camp rose, the river at the camp, the Guadalupe
River,
rose more than 20 feet in less than 2 hours.
45 minutes is what I heard. 26 feet in 45 minutes. What the heck?
Right.
That is how you I guess you determine what a natural disaster is. I mean, man.
This says
and it's 1 a.m.
82 people have died and dozens are still missing after this flood.
Pretty hard. I mean, it's like a tornado in the middle of the night for us. That kind of thing where it's just not, obviously, it's about the worst time you could have it. And this is 1 a.m., I do believe. So
rescuers are still searching for at least 41 people. Just a story about Scott Ruskin, a Coast Guard rescue swimmer, and how he touched the lives of 165 people.
Heard him interviewed, and he said, I was just doing my job. Yeah. If anybody would have done this, we were there. We evacuated mostly through helicopters. And so when you have 40 people and you have to bring them up with a rope, it takes a while. Wow. I'm not, it's just remarkable. I guess you could be thankful it's not a lot more, but prayers with every family that's dealing with such a tragedy. And these kids who are middle school and younger, 7 and 8 years old in some cases.
And some more heavy rainfall is expected.
Yeah. So. Okay, we had the Cubs and Cardinals national TV last night. The Cubbies embarrassed the Cardinals. Cubs threw left-handed pitchers and have been very successful against Cardinals. Can't hit left-handed pitching. So that's the subject of 6 shutouts in the last 3 weeks. This is why you can sit where you want in Busch Stadium tomorrow night. coming off that.
Yeah, against Washington. Well, and the All-Star break is next week.
Yep, home run derby, all of that stuff, and that's a nice break for the players.
Except for those who are involved.
Yeah, that's true.
Yankee slugger Aaron Judge and the Dodgers two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, well, that's true. When you're that level, it's an honor, and it's not like you're not going to play long. I mean, some guys get 3, 4, 5 innings. Pitchers get an inning or two. It's not like you're going to wear out. But it is the energy and the excitement. But normally the honor, if you've gone to your first All-Star game, that's now forevermore you call it an All-Star.
Yeah, that's right.
So you make more money with the All-Star designation for sure. All right, we have a Stever. It's up now. If you get a chance to go to GoStever.com, I'm treating people to $50 to Long Branch Steakhouse.
Nice.
So if you want to go there, open Wednesday through Saturday from 5 to 9. You want a filet mignon, you don't need a knife. Just turn it down. Just use your fork. And, of course, the ribeye with the mashed potatoes. And you cannot say no to the mac and cheese.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of their asparagus and the Brussels sprouts, too. 310 South Main Street in beautiful downtown Gifford.
Yep, and again, $50 if you want it. Just go to GoStever.com and click the button, and you'll get an email after 8 o'clock tonight if you win. So enjoy. You have a couple of weeks. I'll give you 2 weekends to go enjoy that. So, all right, sports headlines at 8:14.
Cubs over Cardinals 11-0. So the Cubs take that series 2-1. Cubs will have Minnesota at 8:40 tomorrow, and Washington is down at Busch. 6:45 start tomorrow. But tonight we'll have the Chicago White Sox facing the Toronto Blue Jays with a 6:40 start. Colorado came out on top 6-4 yesterday. In the Gold Cup finals, we had Mexico beating the United States men's soccer team. That final was 2-1. American Amanda Anisimova is in the quarterfinals of Wimbledon. I don't even know
It's
why
the hardest
I tried.
time of year for tennis because you have to cover the Wimbledon and nobody can say their names.
It's John Deere Classic with Brian Campbell on top of the leaderboard. I do know how to say our former Illini, and he had won in Mexico's Open earlier this year, so he's kind of on a roll, and I'm wishing him all the best. He had credited some of the things that he learned from Coach Mike Small back in the day and keeping cool and collected as he was in that playoff round for the John Deere Classic to win it.
Yeah, no, that's exciting when a former Illini can do that. And I don't know how many guys are out there. Thomas Dietrich won recently.
Hey.
That's a Mike Small guy. Thomas Peters has had great success overseas. He's from Belgium. Nick Hardy's out there winning some money. So there's a lot of guys that beat it around for a while. From Brian's case, it took 8 or 10 years, but he stayed with it. And not easy to stay out there, Johnny. There's hotels and flights and you got to be eligible and qualify, and sometimes have to qualify in a tournament to even get in.
You got to win a certain level of money, or you every year you got to try out again. It's hard to stay on the deal.
Well, and hitting a bad shot for them is 30 feet from the hole versus 8.
Yeah,
because you make a lot of the 8-footers, but not 30 feet.
No, I'm telling you what,
margin is so unbelievable. Jack Nicklaus was phenomenal. Up there in the top 3 of all time, I'm sure. But, there weren't that many. Now it feels like there's 50 guys that can win on a weekend. Man.
Well, it's worth it now.
Yeah, that's true. And there were 20 people going into yesterday's round in Silvis, Illinois, 20 at the John Deere Classic within 4 shots. That's why it went to sudden death.
It really doesn't look that hard. I used to tell people, one of these days I can take a short lunch and get a good swing going. It ain't quite that easy.
Right.
What Tiger say when he was asked on 60 Minutes why it's so hard? And he said, there's a lot of moving parts. And that is true. 2/3 of retirees wish they'd done things differently during retirement planning. Well, Busey Wealth Management shares 7 tried and true tips from retirees. Realizing your dream, a clear vision of what you want it to look like is huge. Get educated on what your options are. Talk with an advisor from Busey Wealth Management today. Make a plan. Start budgeting now to achieve your savings goal. You can always start. Contribute. Even the smallest amount will go a long way in the future. Take advantage of your employer's contribution matching benefits if you have them available. Keep contributing, monitor your progress, and turn those dreams into reality. No matter your stage in life, retirement requires continuous preparation and maintenance for the decades ahead. If you want more information, more resources, visit Busey's Money Matters blog today at moneymatters.busey.com. The experienced professionals at Busey Wealth Management are ready to create your personalized plan or check in on your current retirement goals. Call 800-67-BUSEY or visit Busey.com today. Busey Wealth Management, solutions for your lifetime. Investment products and services not FDIC insured, may lose value, no bank guarantee. I wonder if the Elon Musk new political party, America, the America Party, I think is what it's called, is that going to have any impact? Do you think Elon's trying to get back in the good graces with the left so they stop burning his Teslas?
I don't know what he's thinking, Stevie. I know he's got robots and rockets and electric cars and putting new eyes in. He was talking about doing that. So
yeah, that's amazing.
I think he's a unique individual.
Yeah, he is.
And he's all over the board as just from his products. He's all over the board. So, well, of course he'll have an impact. With $430 billion, you can have an impact. Now,
I think he lost a few tens of billions this whole life.
Easy come, easy go at this point.
Wow.
All right, we'll check the weather for our week. Cloudy, overcast in downtown Philo, celebrating the sesquicentennial here in a week and a half.
17th through the 20th.
Yep, looking forward to it here in downtown Philo, the center of the universe.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity. Pretty much par for the course. July weather continues on minus. Real oppressive heat nor humidity. Increasing rainfall prospects. Still vary scope coverage and intensity-wise for the remainder of the week, but many a dry hour as well. Speaking of which, a little spotty shower can't be ruled out this morning. Some patchy fog early on, then a partly sunny midday giving way to sunshine. Plenty of it this afternoon. A bit cooler and less humid as the day wears on at 82. Light north to northwesterly winds tonight, clearing this evening. Cooler, less humid on the overnight. Slight northeast to east wind 63. Sunshine and 87 tomorrow. A little more humidity, lows near 70 with increasing clouds for tomorrow night. Late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, maybe a stray shower thunderstorm. Better odds Wednesday afternoon, partly sunny and 86 in between. Up to 88. Lingering shower thunderstorm chance on Thursday. Highs into the upper 80s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday each day. A couple of widely scattered showers and thunderstorms too. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is anticipating several announcements on trade within the next 48 hours. Bessent says in an interview this morning that he'll be meeting with his Chinese counterpart in the next couple of weeks and that China wants to do more than trade. The tariff deadline is Wednesday, though the administration is suggesting tariffs will take effect August 1st. President Trump says countries aligning themselves with the BRICS group, though, led by Brazil, China, and Russia, will be charged an additional 10% tariff. Tomorrow is Amazon Prime Day. This year it lasts 4 days, and competitors are stepping up with their own sales. Adobe Analytics is estimating online sales will be up 28% from a year ago. The total is expected to jump to more than $23 billion this year. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com.
Hey, all you backyard chefs and grill gurus. Barbecue season is here, and I know that you're anxious to fire up that smoker or grill, but your yard needs mowed. Yes, your wife is getting hangry, but that grass isn't going to cut itself. What's an aspiring pitmaster going to do? Get the world's fastest mower, of course, a Dixie chopper from Dedicated Diesel in Urbana. They carry a full line of Dixie choppers from the Z2 and Magnum residential models up to the big Excalibur and classic commercial machines that can mow nearly 8 acres an hour. This is award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstadt, and whether I'm cooking low and slow or hot and fast, I always have time to savor the flavor because my mowing time is cut down by Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest mower. Get your Dixie Chopper at Champaign-Urbana's only dealer, Dedicated Diesel, at 1313 Triumph Drive in Urbana, 217-328-0562.
You know, with like Lands Inc., we specialize in, we've got an amazing HVAC department that takes care of your furnace, you know, your heat system, air conditioning, they do
pumps,
that.
yeah.
And for us in Underground, we take care of all your pipes that come into your home, leave your home, and work around your home to keep it dry, you know, your drainage system, sump pumps, things like that. And exactly what you said, if you don't know, you know, a couple decades ago, it was more like, oh, something broke, go fix it, repair it, no big deal. Well, now with the technology, we have cameras, like you said, that we can come in on these Orange Comfort Clubs, and we can camera your sewer lines underneath your house and check them out just to make sure they're fine. If there's something wrong with it, we can show you right then. You know, truth is in seeing it.
Yeah.
We show it to you, and then you can plan as a homeowner for making those repairs or dealing with that issue later on. If it's an immediate need, at least you're not caught off surprise.
That sewer camera inspection with a proper clean out. I was just learning more at landsinc.com.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Sarah Champagne Managing Partner Ben Quattrone.
We're always looking for people. You can go online and apply on our website. We never know what we're going to need. We're always expanding. We're always building more and growing our business. If we don't need a person and they come along and we find out that they're an eagle, they're a star, we'll hire them. We'll put them somewhere and wait for the spot we're going to have them working.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. Well, it's our friend David Sproul. They have a ministry, Thunder on the Prairie, coming up. David, how you been?
I've been great. Stevie, how about you?
Well, fine, thank you. Tell people what your organization's about and what you're planning here.
Okay, well, I'm with the Christian Motorcycle Association, which is an international ministry, ministering to bikers around the world. And here in Illinois, once a year, we do our annual Thunder on a Prairie motorcycle rally in Leroy, Illinois. It's a family-friendly event, and it's this weekend, 11th through the 13th. And we're also this year hosting a worship service on Thursday night on the 10th, right there in the park in downtown Leroy.
Okay, everybody's welcome, and you don't have to be a motorcycle rider to come, right?
That's correct. You don't even have to own a motorcycle. Just come on down, have fun with it. It's open to the community and anybody else surrounding communities. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have food trucks this year, which is kind of a new addition. We had 1 or 2 last year. This year we have 6.
Oh, fun. It's your choice of food. And tell people, where's the money go that you raise?
Well, we really aren't raising any money. It's just an open thing to the community and an opportunity to meet with people.
Yeah.
So it's, it's not a fundraiser. There's no cost to be involved. It's free to anybody that wants to come and attend.
Who's got the best motorcycle, David?
Oh, that's hard to say. I'd like to say me, but that's probably not true.
You guys ride Harleys, or what do you do?
Oh, it's a little bit of everything. We really don't care what kind of bike you ride. It's just get together and have a good time. And some of the highlights, Friday night, there's going to be a parade in town. Leroy's not very big, so it's a short parade, but it's fun.
Yep.
And we're going to have ice cream social and a band. So come on out and enjoy the music. Music will probably be a mix of oldies and maybe some contemporary. Saturday we have bands again. We have mini bike races.
Mini bike races. Johnny and Stevie need to get on some mini bikes and see how that goes.
Yeah, might be too fast for me. Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
So it's a good time. I'm trying to think what else we got going on.
You got a point of reference, David? Where do I go? You have a website or a Facebook page or something people can look at?
Yeah, if you can go into Facebook and just search for CMA Illinois and or Thunder on the Prairie, and you can find us on Facebook.
Yep, sharing the news of Jesus Christ. That you can't have a bad moment with that. It's a wonderful thing, and you're just sharing the love, really, essentially is what you're doing.
And since you're going into Sunday the 13th, is it more of a gospel tent revival kind of scene on the Sunday?
Not so much on Sunday. We do have a worship service Sunday morning right there in the tent, but the big one is Thursday night, again in the tent right there in Kiwanis Park. And we have a group called The Church Has Left the Building that came and joined with us last year, and they're phenomenal in leading worship.
Awesome, David Sproul. Appreciate what you're doing, and keep up your good work. Thunder on the Prairie this weekend, and we'll look forward to it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you, David Sproul.
All right, David, sounding good.
Yep. Okay, ESPN 93.5, 828. We'll break for the news, come back with our last segment of the day. Stand by. We've touched on, of course, the tragedy in Texas.
Yeah,
We've touched on Elon Musk starting a new party, the big, beautiful bill signed. The last time we talked to you, it had not been signed. That was on Thursday. And then the president signed it with, a bunch of people surrounding him and handed out pens for those that wanted a souvenir pin of the big, beautiful bill. Biggest one ever signed, Johnny, $3.3 trillion in spending.
Yeah, there's a lot in that bill.
But if you would have had resistance on every level to break that up, taken a year probably to get all that through. Now we're going to know the impact of it next when the midterms come around. We'll have kind of a feel.
No, right. That is true. It's going to, so, okay, let's see what happens.
Yep, let's see what happens.
And I think it'll be good.
Yep. All right, we'll be back, 829 ESPN 93.5.
At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people.
This is former Cardinal and Navy Lieutenant Mitch Harris. Salute those who serve. Join the Cardinals on Friday, July 11th for Military Appreciation Night, presented by Boeing. With a special themed ticket, fans will take home an exclusive Cardinals 40-ounce tumbler, honoring all 6 military branches. Arrive early for a powerful pregame concert by the U.S. Air Force Band on the Budweiser stage. And best of all, a portion of each ticket benefits USO Missouri. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/theme. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. As much as I did my research, he has a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola.
News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. Camp Mystic says it's mourning the loss of 27 campers and counselors as the search continues for the victims of catastrophic Texas flooding.
Some of these young girls, as young as 7 years old, they were fast asleep in their cabins right near the river when this happened, and these devastating flash floods just swept through. The Guadalupe River surged 26 feet in just 45 minutes.
Fox's Brooke Taylor in Kerrville, Texas. Authorities say at least 82 people have died. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu set to meet with President Trump in Washington to talk about a potential ceasefire and hostage deal.
This deal, if it comes through, will involve a 60-day ceasefire where Hamas releases 10 living and 18 deceased hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners.
And that's Fox's Jackie Heinrich. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news One driver arrested for a DUI on the 4th that followed a crash involving multiple cars Friday in Savoy at the intersection of East Curtis Road and Paddock Drive. The incident involving at least 2 cars. The driver, one of the 2, arrested on DUI charges. Urbana Park District receiving reports of pets getting ticks in its parks. The Park District said on its website that staff members have put up additional signage warning about the ticks. Best way to prevent getting ticks is to stay on the pathways in the parks and not go off into the brush or other tall grasses. Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Illinois, and the State Department of Natural Resources teaming up to curb drunk driving on recreational vehicles this summer. The Boating and ATV Impaired Driving Prevention Campaign urged residents to stay sober while operating boats, jet skis, ATVs, and more. Alcohol is the number one known contributing factor in fatal boating accidents. And that's what's happening. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign, Urbana, and Vicinity. Pretty much par for the course. July weather continues on minus real oppressive heat nor humidity. Increasing rainfall prospects. They'll vary scope coverage and intensity-wise for the remainder of the week, but many a dry hour as well. Speaking of which, a little spotty shower can't be ruled out this morning. Some patchy fog early on, then a partly sunny midday giving way to sunshine. Plenty of it this afternoon. A bit cooler and less humid as the day wears on at 82. Light north to northwesterly winds tonight, clearing this evening. Cooler, less humid on the overnight. Slight northeast to east wind 63. Sunshine and 87 tomorrow. A little more humidity, lows near 70 with increasing clouds for tomorrow night. Late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, maybe a stray shower thunderstorm. Better odds Wednesday afternoon, partly sunny and 86 in between. Up to 88. Lingering shower thunderstorm chance on Thursday. Highs into the upper 80s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday each day. A couple of widely scattered showers and thunderstorms too. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Yeah, we're right at 2 months before the Chicago Bears kick off their season, and the Bears could be good. And we carry them now on radio for those in the combines in September. You can listen to Chicago Bears radio on Q96 WQQB. That's 96.1. Jeff Joniak, Tom Thayer, they've been doing it for a long time. You'll hear the Bears on radio here on Q96, part of our family of radio stations. Stevie J Broadcasting. So,
how will it go with Caleb Cook, you think?
Caleb Williams?
Caleb Williams.
And we know what we're talking about.
I'm sorry. There's a musician, Caleb Cook, and I still have a little bit of event brain.
I don't know much about Caleb Williams. He's from USC, and hopefully he'll be a terrific quarterback. So we'll see this fall, 2 months away for NFL football. The New Orleans Saints are picked last.
Yeah, that's a good position.
32nd position.
Call that pole position. We got no way to disappoint. You cannot get 33rd in that league.
Oh, man. So
we got 32nd wrapped up. And
Derek Carr retired, right?
It's because we don't have a quarterback, and we've got a pretty good team. So they're not going to be last.
Okay. All right. That's
they may
good.
be 30th.
All right, so is alligator Alcatraz a good idea? This was introduced to the world last week, and some people think it's cruel. Donald Trump was talking about how you run away from an alligator, and they thought that was mean.
Well, no, he's right. They can't go laterally.
But so you zigzag.
Yes.
So the question is it proper?
They're pretty fast going straight. You'd be surprised.
Yeah. So
you need to make sure you go left or right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, is this something they're going to try and duplicate? It is much less money for security because if you jump into the marsh, you'll get eaten. There's all kinds of snakes, all kinds of alligators. Aren't there crocodiles in there? What's the difference?
There's no crocodile.
What's an alligator and a crocodile?
Crocodile is Australia.
African, I think, too.
There's no crocodiles in America?
Alligator in America.
I wouldn't say none, but...
alligator has a more pointy...
But don't they both eat you?
Yeah, you don't.
Sure,
Okay.
They're probably in the same family.
So is it not is as much a deterrent to have those guys there as it is to tell the world this is what happens when you come here? You might have to go down. It's more of a trumpet. We're going to have something really good in store for you if you try this.
I think it's a good idea from the standpoint of the cost of it. It's a very low cost facility. I don't know about the promo of it. I mean, you got a place for guys that when we have our top-notch facilities in New Orleans. They just run out the wall and they're in the city. Okay. So at least this is in the middle of a swamp. You got to go miles to get out of that.
Did they ever catch all 10 of those guys?
I think they got at least 9.
Oh, man.
So I think it's a good idea. I don't know where they're getting out of the publicity, which was, obviously it was decided to make a big story out of it. And
yeah,
I'm kind of thinking both DeSantis and Trump were kind of goading the other side on it to hear.
But he said though, if you are appointed to come here and you're in line and being processed, and then you say, "Hey, I want to self-deport," they'll still give you $1,000 and give you the plane ride.
Okay, that's good.
Why don't you do that?
They might.
It's either this or you get your $1,000 bill and get on a plane to go to your home country. You do that, and you can come back eventually. Supposedly, you qualify to come back if you self-deport. But he said specifically, if you come here and you're not in yet, you can still go home.
Okay.
I
mean, sounds good. I don't still know why they made that big a story out of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking it was to scare others from coming, keep them out.
Okay.
That'd be a real deterrent. And
this is a 5,000 bed facility.
Yeah, it's huge. What's Carl have? Carl's like 4,500 beds, aren't they?
I don't
it's
think
big.
It's that high.
I don't think Carl's a detention center.
No, but it's a bed.
and I was just seeing beds that are no more than $165 a day, and they're talking about the math of $250 a day on other facilities. So I don't know.
But that would be down to one of the last jobs I'd ever want as a prison guard.
Yeah, me too.
It'd be rough stuff. Okay. We will see how everything shakes out with the big, beautiful bill. Again, it got through as a major legislative victory. Kind of, I guess, as big as what Obamacare might have been at the time. But I don't know if Obamacare hasn't worked well.
No.
Our costs are nuts.
Well, so we're supposed to save $2,500 a year, and I think some people's bills are up $25,000.
Yeah, ours is up considerably, and now we've lost Health Alliance around here. They're done by the end of the year, so we have to go looking for new insurance, and many people do.
Well, and really, I know a lot of people running without health insurance. There are more off of it, but more by choice, because between a $5,000 deductible and $800 a month. I mean, you got to go some. You got to be pretty sick to go through that, and you're risking catastrophic. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know what they do if you have no insurance and you got catastrophic. How do they work that out? People just owe money forever?
Yeah, and they'll usually do a heck of a deal.
Yeah,
but it can break you, and that's why you get insurance.
That's why you get insurance. No, that's right. And we've had not so good experience with long-term care insurance.
Yeah.
And one of the suggested coverages for people that are losing their Health Alliance is that long-term one we have for mom.
Yeah, long-term care. It's hard because you got to predict prices quite a few years out.
Yeah,
they go up so fast.
Oh, so fast.
So our insurance is actually have allegedly decided to cover, but it's approximately 15% of the cost.
Yeah, no, it's hard to get. But the question is for many baby boomers will be who's going to be available to help care for you if you tried to stay home. And are there enough beds if you don't want to stay home? I mean, I think there's going to be a shortage of care for us older people.
Actually, I honestly think this is not one of my usual kind of snarky, well, we just have to get a robot. It is true that these robots are coming on to where they can do a lot of what you need done, which is help move you around the house without falling.
Yep.
It almost comes to that to so many.
And a robot can probably prepare meals, I would think.
And the robot won't fall asleep.
No, that's right. And the robot...
It's like the Terminator.
You pay once, right? They're talking $20,000 for a robot. It's a fairly simple one.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, not in this game. So. Anyway, we're short, man. We have more baby boomers than we have anybody other. The Gen Zs, millennials, none of approach the numbers of baby boomers.
So we'll all have our own robot, I guess.
I guess so. So it's Rosie from the Jetsons. Here we go.
There we go.
Rosie made food in that machine. That looked like a microwave. All right, it's 217-359-2255. Don't forget, we are offering a Stever program where I give you some money to go to a great business. You go to Gifford And you eat at the Long Branch Steakhouse, where John Goodman and all the stars from Chili Finger, they're producing a movie in this area.
Yeah,
Cool.
Bryan Cranston.
Brian Cranston.
My old partner, Johnny Goodman. He was in the Dick's restaurant with us.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, he was the...
His wife's from Chalmette, for crying out loud.
Well,
That's in New Orleans.
I think he's a St. Louis guy.
Maybe. He's not New Orleans, but his wife.
Okay.
is.
Well, he was also the head of... He was at that Indemnity party in Superdome.
The Indemnity and Grand Marshal. Grand Marshal.
That's right.
He was okay because he got
During
up
the Mardi
microphone,
Gras?
and he sang there. He was there in the '80s, and he sang some Elvis.
He'd had a couple of beers.
Anyway, Donnie at Long Branch, $50 to Donnie at Long Branch Steakhouse. $50 bills. I'm handing them out at GoStever.com. You have about 2 weekends to go eat there. They're open Wednesday through Saturday night from 5 to 9. And then you'll have a little survey to fill out, tell you how you did. And he really appreciates that feedback. So that's available right now at GoStever.com.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World Command Center.
Paul, we have extreme heat warning. Summer 2025 is a hot one in Champaign-Urbana.
That's trouble for garage refrigerators.
One just went down in Rantoul. They need delivery right away, Paul.
Put them on for tomorrow. What's going on down here in Fisher?
It's a window air conditioner going out.
Can't have that. Good thing we deliver and install window ACs. We have plenty in stock.
Garage freezer in B-Man. Customer wants a technician out right away. She's afraid her beef is thawing.
Hate it when that happens. We have a tech in the area. Send Nate right over.
Copy that.
Team, it's like we talk about. At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, we know what hot weather can do to home appliances. More importantly, we're always ready for the heat with fast, friendly repair service and delivery, plus the largest selection of appliances in Champaign-Urbana.
Paul, customer in Muhammad, needs a portable dehumidifier ASAP. Says his tools are rusting out from the humidity.
That can happen. We have dehumidifiers for pickup or fast delivery. Remember, at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, you get the whole store.
Wow!
When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Attention drivers. When it comes to your car, trust matters. That's why savvy drivers choose PDR Automotive for top-notch service and unbeatable quality. From routine maintenance to complex repairs, their team of expert technicians has the skill and experience to keep your vehicle running smoothly. At PDR Automotive, customer satisfaction is their priority, and they won't rest until your car is back on the road performing at its best. Visit PDR Automotive in Urbana today, family owned and operated for more than 50 years. They're what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
Crystal Lake Park Family Aquatic Center is open for the summer swimming season. Bring the whole family for a fun day at the pool. The pool opens weekdays at 12:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sundays at 11 a.m. Buy a pool membership or punch cards for savings on admission. Stay up to date on Facebook and Twitter for special days and events at the pool. Have fun and splash in the sun. Go to Crystal Lake Park Family Aquatic Center this summer. For details, visit urbanaparks.org.
We're talking to John Reichert and Neil Asklin. I guess the first question for me, John, is what is it like being part of A&R, knowing how this all started? It was your grandfather, then your dad, and now you, and 100 years in business is hard. How do you explain that?
Well, it's incredible, honestly. When I was a boy, obviously, my father was running the company. It's always been, part of my life, but I knew that we had good people, at that time that worked for the company. I think with God's help and protection that we survived and, frankly, thrived.
I think the thrive is the key word here. Neil Asklin, I guess, let me ask you about your dad, Ken Asklin, who partnered with Dave, and they got it going in the 50s and kept it going, and you being part of the company.
I've been around since I was a young teenager, so something that I've grown to love, and the camaraderie and getting things done. And these huge projects that we're doing now just amazes me.
A&R Mechanical, a thriving leader 100 years later. All right, check your sports headlines. Diane Ducey has the latest.
Yeah, Cubs over the Cardinals 11-0. 2-1 was the series taken by Chicago. I know St. Louis Cardinals fans were out in full force, though, for Tom Johnson's birthday at the Rose Bowl on Saturday night, the 5th. And with the Cardinals winning that, everybody was in a good mood when I mentioned that on the mic. It's been a fun weekend with all kinds of opportunities to celebrate, that's for sure, out of the 4th of July holiday weekend. And
I mentioned, this is just random, sorry, Diane. I've just mentioned, Johnny, do you think that the 250th, which is going to be a grand party nationally, will be tempered in Champaign County because we're blue?
No, not really. I think there's just it's really, so there's so much there. There's a lot of blue love this country. You've got a very small group taking over the party, right? And there's a lot of loyalty, so they're sticking with it. But that doesn't go that deep. And then we are half Republican, right?
Yeah, in the county we are.
And there's nobody. You might have the same 10 people Diane saw.
Yeah,
out there,
right. Out there at the parade.
No, I don't think so at all. I think it's a.
I bet it just there's so many more people have more microphones and all the social medias that make it feel like there's more trying to break the country up. And
it's true. I think that's true. And it's also supported to a much higher level, supported by nobody saying anything.
Yeah, true.
And that makes it feel.
Well, I mean, if you had a million of them, even if you had the twice of New Orleans anti-American, that's 340 million versus 1 million.
Yeah.
It's still a very small number.
No, I think it's a pretty small number that you hear all the time as a representative, like AOC.
Yeah.
How many Democrats does she represent? I don't know. It might be half of them, but that's still not a big percentage of 350 million people.
No, it's not. All right, sorry.
But to celebrate our history, founding ideas, our future, it's already America 250 if you search it online. So it's going to be quite a party.
Yeah. And I think those founding ideas of freedom and independence and justice we agree on. How and what that looks like, we have disagreements, but the general gist of our founding principles, the people should be in charge, we agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so
maybe we can all come together next year.
We can do pretty well. I think the 250 will be a big help.
But I think just because Trump came up with it, all the people what
do you mean he came up with it?
He came up with the idea to celebrate, but he's talking about a year-long celebration. Nobody on the left will want that.
Yeah, I'm not even sure about that because it is actually a good political move. So, I'm more confident in the population. That's why you'll always hear me harping about the voting process because it's representative of a 50-50 split, and I think I'm going to say 60-40, but that's a lot different than 50-50.
Yeah. All right. Now it's sports.
Jets is hiring. Call 217-352-9992 or stop into 1907 West Springfield Avenue near Round Barn in Champaign. Jets is open till 10 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays till midnight. Are you looking for a side hustle? Here's Josh from Jets talking about the benefits of doing deliveries.
When I was a delivery driver, it was amazing how much the actual amount of money I had just shot right up. It's hard to describe. You have money in your pocket every single day.
For details on joining the team, visit jetspizza.com.
Congratulations to the Village of Philo on its 150th anniversary, of which 142 of those years, Philo Exchange Bank has served the community. Join us as we celebrate 150 years of Philo on July 17th through the 20th. We have also partnered with the Champaign County History Museum to have an exhibit in our downtown Philo Bank starting July 17th. Find more information at philobank.com or on our Facebook page.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
What we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
From From computer systems to brakes and tires too, at PDR, fixing cars is what they do. Remember, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 or use their dedicated text-only line at 383-0619. Additional information including repair quotes and online scheduling requests available from the website at pdrauto.com. Remember, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR. When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is right here in Champaign-Urbana to help you select the right protection at the right price. Kurt will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. Just call him when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, and vicinity. Pretty much par for the course. July weather continues on, but with no real extreme heat nor humidity. Both will be elevated from time to time, along with increasing rainfall prospects as the rest of the week wears on, but it'll be roll the dice from time to time. Some days better than others, with picking up rainfall coverages and amounts. Speaking of which, a stray shower could be around in spots this morning. Some patchy fog as well, then a partly sunny midday and a mostly sunny later afternoon. A bit cooler, less humid as the day wears on at 82. Clearing off this evening, cooler and less humid on the overnight. Light northeast to east wind at 63. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. Winds will turn back light south for the afternoon at 87. We'll introduce a couple of isolated and widely scattered showers and thunderstorms late tomorrow night. More so for Wednesday, 70 tomorrow night, and a partly sunny Wednesday in between the scattered showers and thunderstorms, a high around 86. Lingering threat for a shower thunderstorm Thursday at 88. Better odds for Friday into Saturday. Highs there will be into the upper 80s, and a lingering shower chance Sunday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
All right, well, good to have Brother Johnny here in the studio, and I guess you're here tomorrow morning before you head out.
I'll check in and see what's going on. You have to tell me the news, and yeah, great to be here in Philo, and we'll be back for that
Philo Sesquicentennial.
17th through the 20th.
17th through the 20th, it'll be happening. I have no idea where you're going to park if you come from out of town.
Sesqua is 150. Quisca is 125. And I don't know what 175, but we'll tell you tomorrow.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you,
All right.
Diane.
Thank you.
Enjoy the day.
That's Diane Ducey. I'm Stevie J. Thanks for listening. Have a great Monday.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck duck goose because you do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow in Champaign-Urbana today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Underground Solutions. Are you tired of dealing with leaky faucets, basement flooding, bursting or leaking pipes? From plumbing maintenance and repairs to installing new water heaters and sump pumps, our goal is to get you up and running as soon as possible. At Lands Plumbing, we have 24/7 emergency service and a team of highly skilled professionals that will work with you to get the job done right the first time. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World Command Center.
Paul, we have extreme heat warning. Summer 2025 is a hot one in Champaign-Urbana.
That's trouble for garage refrigerators.
One just went down in Rantoul. They need delivery right away, Paul.
Put them on for tomorrow. What's going on down here in Fisher?
It's a window air conditioner going out.
Can't have that. Good thing we deliver and install window ACs. We have plenty in stock.
Garage freezer NB man. Customer wants a technician out right away. She's afraid her beef is thawing.
Hate it when that happens. We have a tech in the area. Send Nate right over.
Copy that.
Team, it's like we talk about. At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, we know what hot weather can do to home appliances. More importantly, we're always ready for the heat with fast, friendly repair service and delivery, plus the largest selection of appliances in Champaign-Urbana.
Paul, customer in Muhammad, needs a portable dehumidifier ASAP. Says his tools are rusting out from the humidity.
That can happen. We have dehumidifiers for pickup or fast delivery. Remember, at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, you get the whole store.
Wow!
When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
What is most important in your life? This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Whether you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that can help clients like you realize your goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
We're talking to John Reichert from A&R Mechanical. 100 years in our community. So many buildings in this town, like Memorial Stadium. Of course, the State Farm Center. Can you remember the reaction from the company getting that? Because that's a big one.
Oh, that was huge. If you just think about it a little bit, everything we put in is straight, pipe is straight. We're putting all that into a round building. And, it took a lot of know-how to make that project happen. It was one of the first projects we did using our new technologies. And the timing was just right. We were the right people for that project, and I think we did it successfully.
The legacy of